Hello soccer fans and welcome to Hometown Cable. Tonight we have a game in Chazy at the George Brendler Field. It is the 16th of September 2009 and what a beautiful night for a soccer game between the host Eagles and the Lake Placid Blue Bombers. Lake Placid has been playing Class C for many years lately and it's kind of nice to see Chazy play Lake Placid. They will be going into the playoffs in the D class, even though they'll play in the CPAC. They'll play a lot of C and B schools, but they will drop down to the D level for the playoffs, so it's nice that Chazy gets to look at the Blue Bombers, and it's been a long time since they played each other, and Chazy on the attack now, and McCarthy rips a shot wide of the net, so Chazy comes right down to get a shot off the net. My sidekick Joe Poisson is not here. He may be joining us later. He is up at Northeastern Clinton. His JV boys, Chazy JV boys, are playing the Cougars of Northeastern Clinton, so I'm kind of anxious for Joe to get back here to kind of let us know what took place there earlier tonight in Northeastern Clinton, between Chazy and Northeastern Clinton. Right now it's the Eagles controlling play right now. It's Halley pushes it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds has time, goes right up to midfield, gets it onto the foot of Boris. Boris had a big game the other night, scoring both goals for Chazy as they beat the Keene Beavers 2-0. Chazy is 2-0 in league play. This will be their third game of the season as far as the league goes. They did have the preseason tournament, had a successful tournament. They beat Canton 2-1 in overtime. They tied Plattsburgh 1-1 as far as that goes. That's what it will go in the books as. They did go to a shootout. Plattsburgh won that shootout 4-2. So Chazy starting off their year in good fashion. Of course, Chazy is the state finalist last year. They played the Hamilton Emeralds, and here goes Boris. He's taken down, and it will be a penalty kick. So there'll be a penalty kick here for Chazy early on at 38:02, or I should say a minute 58 seconds here in the first half. So a chance here for the Eagles to jump on early, and they're going to let Boris take the kick. He's the one taken down inside the box. So Tyler Boris setting himself up right now. So Chazy could draw first blood here early in this game. And Boris just drills it upper right-hand side of the net, and Tyler Boris puts Chazy up quickly, 1-0. And I don't think Lake Placid was expecting that so quickly, but Chazy does a nice job going ahead 1-0. And I was mentioning Chazy was last year's state finalist. They had lost to the Hamilton Emeralds from Section 3, 4-3 in overtime. It was a very exciting, wild game down in Oneonta, and Chazy would like nothing more than to get back there again. And of course, every year under Coach Rob McAuliffe, that is their goal. And right now, it is number 3 Knox with the ball for Lake Placid. He'll push it back up over to number 22 Cord Zeal, who sends it up into Chazy territory, controlled by Halley. Halley chips it up, trying to find Boris here on the near sideline. It will go out of bounds, and it will be Cord Zeal taking the throw in here for Lake Placid. Cord Zeal, he gets it on the foot to Tennant. Tennant has it knocked away by Snide over to Halley's foot, but then it's taken away by number 16 Commons, and now back at midfield, controlled by the Eagles. It is Tregan tries to push it up over to Rogers a little too far, and it goes out of bounds, so throw in here for Lake Placid. They go back to the defensive end. Lake Placid trying to control the play here defensively. Baird with the ball has it taken away, and it's Boris. He gets off another shot, and Tyler Boris just drills a shot at 2 minutes and 52 seconds. So basically a minute later, Tyler Boris gets his second goal. And Sam, the last 2 games, Tyler Boris has 4 goals. He's really picked it up here.
Yeah, he's impressive tonight so far, too.
Do we have another Nolan Ryan or Stetson Fields in our midst here, or what?
Never know.
You never know.
What grade is he in?
He's a senior.
Oh, he's a senior.
So congratulations to Tyler Boris, his 4th goal in 2 games, and we have a lot of soccer left. We have 37 minutes here left in the first half, and we got a whole second half to go. Chazy already up 2-0. It is Knox, pushes it up over to Kane. Kane works himself to midfield, but it's taken away by Snide. Snide trying to control, but nice hustle by Kane to knock it away. Throw in here for Chazy, and it will be Andrew Lapierre with the throw in. He sends it up over to Snide. Snide knocks it over to Barrier. Barrier will switch fields, goes all the way across over to Tregan. Tregan works his way to midfield. He stops it, pushes it back over to Halley. Halley, surveying the situation, comes in the near side, chips it up into Lake Placid territory, off the head of Kane, and hit by Lapeer over to Snide. Snide up over to Dominy. One times it up over to Boris. Boris trying to get by the defense, but Commons does a nice job going to midfield, but controlled by Halley. Halley chips it up over to Barrier. Barrier now working his way into Lake Placid territory, trying to push it back defensively, but intercepted by number 3 Knox. Knox and Barrier fighting for the ball, won by Barrier. And there's a hold on number 30 for, it looks like number 30 for Lake Placid, but I don't see the number here, so I'm probably reading it wrong. And Sam, how I got 30 out of 10, I don't know, but it was Dylan Cassidy. So I may have to go for some glasses here, but I didn't pick that number up. And it is Reynolds, chips a shot into the box. Halley tried to just tip it with his foot. He tips it over the net, but nice effort here by Halley on a feed by Reynolds from midfield. So it'll be a goal kick here for Lake Placid. We are now at 35-30. Chazy has outshot Lake Placid 3-0. They've scored on the first two of the 3 shots to take a 2-0 lead here early on in this game. It is a goal kick working its way about 20 yards short of midfield, and it's one time by Tennant over to Kane. Kane pushes it up over to Knox. Knox being challenged by Barrier, now gets loose, tries switching fields far side, trying to hit Perkins, and it goes too far past Perkins, out of bounds. So it'll be a throw in here for Chazy. It is Tregan, throws it up to midfield, controlled by McCarthy. He loses it to number 10 Cassidy. Cassidy pushes it back over to Corzeal. Corzeal gets it up over to Tennant. Tennant here goes near sideline trying to find Kane, and it's intercepted by Lapeer. Lapeer chips it to midfield over to Barrier, who chips it to midfield. Now it's controlled by Tyler Boris. He gives it onto the on-rush, and Nolan Rogers, he's working his way in. He tries to clear it, and it's offsides on McCarthy. So nice ball movement here for the Eagles, as it will be an offsides call. So Lake Placid will get the kick. Now where's Calvin tonight?
At Northeastern.
The varsity game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine he did both of them. Who's Northeastern playing?
The varsity, I don't know.
Oh. So it must be a team without a JV team.
Yeah. Oh, it could maybe Seton? Because Northeastern was, Chazy's taking Seton's spot in the...
Okay.
So it could be Seton they're playing tonight. It'll be a throw in here for Corzeal of Lake Placid. He gets it up over to Knox. Knox knocks it off McCarthy. Another throw in here for Lake Placid. Going to midfield, off the head of Knox over to Tennant. Tennant being challenged by Boris, intercepted by Halley. Halley now controlling, has options. He chips it up trying to find McCarthy. He finds McCarthy, and a nice job for the goalie to come off the line to get the ball. So good play by the goalie, because McCarthy was breaking the defense after the ball was kicked by Halley. And the goalie, and Sam, I know you've been waiting for me to call this, but Bazakalopo came off the line. So I'm working on that name. It's not a normal name that we see here. And it was headed by Lapeer over to Halley. Halley chips it back over to Lapeer, and giving chase is Gronlund. Gronlund going after the ball, but he switches fields. Lapeer does over to Tregan, who one times it over to Boris. Nice play. He's got Rogers far side. He gets Rogers on the run. Rogers working his way down the field, far sideline, giving chase is Butler. Rogers does a nice job to get by Butler. He's at the baseline. He sends it across, and it was trying to be ahead by Boris, but it's knocked out by number 12, Baird, and it is controlled by Lake Placid's number 3, Knox. Knox trying to push it up over to 17. Nice play by Lapeer to slide tackle it, knocking it over to McCarthy, who got it back over to Dominy, now cleared into Chazy territory, controlled by Halley. Halley sends it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds up to midfield over to Snide. Snide controlling the ball. He's now at midfield into Lake Placid territory. Snide now will chip it up, giving chase is McCarthy, and coming off the net is Bazakalopo, and he makes a nice play to get the ball. I said that a little bit better that time, Sam, so as we say his name more and more, I'll be a little more smoother with that name. He punts it toward midfield, and it's off the head of Knox. to Tregan, who heads it up to midfield, controlled by the Blue Bombers. And it's Knox. He sends it back over to Cordziel, who tries to find Kane. Kane being challenged by Domini. Domini will take the throw-in quickly over to Barrier. Barrier controls, pushes it back over to Domini. He one-times it up over to Boris. Boris shielding the ball, pushes it back over to Domini. And a nice defensive play by number 16 Commons to do a slide tackle, knocking it out of bounds. So throw-in here for the Eagles. It's Domini with the throw-in. Over to Hallie. Hallie just goes to the open space, and alertly number 12 Baird knocks it into Chazy territory, but it's controlled by Reynolds. Reynolds with the ball does a nice job getting by Grunland, sends it deep into Lake Placid territory. Giving chase is Domini, and it is number 22 Cordziel knocking it out of bounds. So deep into Chazy territory, it will be Andrew Lapierre coming in from the defensive end all the way up into the offensive end for the throw-in. He sends it up, it heads off of Boris's head, and Hallie tries to go up for the ball, and it's cleared out by Lake Placid. It is Knox, and Tregan just one-times it up over to Hallie. Hallie sends it back over to Reynolds, and nice hustle by number 10 Cassidy to get there, but nice job for Reynolds knocking it away from him. It's far side. They'll call a handball on Nolan Rogers. So it'll be a kick here for the Blue Bombers just inside the midfield mark, far side. And it will be the Blue Bombers, number 3 Knox, taking the kick here.
When they were doing the lineups, Nolan Rogers' name was mentioned, and the coach from Lake Placid heard Nolan. He says, "Is he still here, Nolan Rogers?"
Is that what he said? Headed out. And, you know, Sam, you asked me earlier if I should ask number 4 here. Dylan Smith is ready to check into the game. We'll ask him down below. Hey, okay, so we asked Dylan Smith, who's getting ready to check into the game. The goalie's name is Baza Kalupo. So that's how you say his last name. I wasn't too far off.
Come on, boys, come on! Sorry to remember it.
Now if I can remember it. Baza Kalupo. Okay. We'll see if Chazy can get a shot on net so he can make a save so I can call that name here. Okay, here come the Eagles now. It is Domini, challenged by Kane, now taken away by Lapierre over to Boris. Boris has it knocked away. And it is number 16 Commons, gets it onto the foot of Grunland. Grunland at midfield pushes it up over to Knox. Knox tries to go a little give and go, but goes too far up here on the near sideline, out of bounds, out of reach of Grunland. So it'll be a throw in here for the Eagles.
Couple feet, there you go. Okay, so come on by. That's good.
And Nathan Reynolds with the ball. Plenty of time. And he pushes it up over to Snide, too far out of his reach. Snide trying to hustle to get to the ball, but a nice job by number 22 Cordziel, who gives it up over to Tennant. Tennant pushes it back over to Kane. Kane at midfield, pressured by Boris. He gets it up off the foot of Barrier, and Barrier trying to control the ball but being challenged by Kane. It's Barrier with the ball. Nice hustle by Grunland. Takes it away from Barrier, or from Barrier, and intercepted by Lapierre. Lapierre gets it up to Reynolds. Reynolds chips it up to midfield. It goes over the head of Boris onto the foot of Cordziel, and the ball has been deflected back into Lake Placid territory. And number 12, Baird, goes far side trying to find Perkins. And it is out of bounds, Lake Placid ball. Quick throw-in controlled by Knox. Knox being challenged by Snide. Knox wins that battle. He's at midfield, pushes it up, and now intercepted by Tregan. Tregan with the ball, fighting for it, being challenged, goes over to Barry's foot, over to Boris.
Back, really watch back.
Boris with time, does a nice job, gets tripped, gets back up on his feet, no call. Rogers, far sideline. Nolan Rogers doing a good job. Somebody loses a shoe. And it'll be a corner kick, and it would be, looks like the defensive player going to get a shoe. I was going to say if that was Rogers, I had to hit their foot if he tried to clear it in front of the net like that. So we got a corner kick here for Chazy, and they looks like they'll do a traditional corner kick. Doesn't look like they'll try the short kick here. So it is Barrier setting up on the far sideline, which he normally does at these games. And it's a nice feed, headed by McCarthy. Domini with the ball, nice job sending it back, headed by McCarthy. over to Dominy coming back in. So nice effort here for the Eagles, but it will be a goal kick for the Blue Bombers. And coming into the game is Chris Orsi, as well as Dylan Smith. Coming out of the game is Gronlund, and it will be number 19, Butler. We have 26-25 here left in the first half. Chazy with a 2-0 lead on 2 Tyler Boris's goals. One from the penalty kick and one on a beautiful shot coming into the box. I'm Joey Trombley calling tonight's action, along with Sam Castine on the camera. And we're hoping that Joe Poissant makes it back up here, at least for the second half. We'd like to know how he did in his game with his JV squad as they played the Cougars of Northeastern Clinton at 4:30 earlier today. Knox with the ball for Placid, goes into the open space, and it's picked up by Lapierre. Lapierre pushes it back over to Barrier. Barrier tried to find Dominy, but it's knocked away, and it's picked up by number 10, Cassidy. Cassidy has it taken away by Dominy. Dominy tried to go through the foot of Kane, but Kane does a nice job. He sends it up to the open space, and Reynolds comes over, chips it back to midfield, and it's controlled by number 3, Knox. Knox does a nice job. Now working his way into Chazy territory, being challenged by McCarthy and Barrier. He pushes it back to midfield, and number 12, it is Baird there. He has it knocked away, and now he pushes it up into Chazy territory over to number 16, Commons. Commons has it knocked away, and now it is McCarthy. McCarthy trying to get a through ball. It looks like Boris could have been offsides on that, but it didn't matter. It was a nice play by number 12, Baird. Baird does a nice job, tries to clear it upfield, but it's taken away by Rogers. He chips it up into the box, and Baca, oh my God, here we go. Bazacalupo comes up and makes the save. He chips it or punts it toward midfield, headed by Snide. Snide will control, pushes it back over to Halley. Halley back at midfield, back over to Snide. Snide working his way down, trying to find McCarthy, but intercepted by Orsi, who just checked into the game. Off the foot of Knox, over to Smith, who just checked into the game. So Barrier, over to Snide, back to Barrier. Barrier being challenged by Tennant. Pushes it up, cleared into Chazy territory, over the head of Tregan, but he hustles back, pushes it back to midfield. Giving chase is number 3, McCarthy. And that's a push of McCarthy. So it'll be a kick for Lake Placid. We have just under 24 minutes to go here in the first half. Chazy leading the Bombers of Lake Placid 2-0. Ball knocked out of bounds by Rogers, so it'll be a throw in here for Lake Placid. Number 15 coming into the game, John Williams. Coming out of the game is Will Kane. Throw in deep into Chazy territory, and it is Tregan trying to get it up over to Rogers. Ball comes out onto the foot of McCarthy. McCarthy being challenged by Knox. Knox takes it away, pushes it to Perkins. Perkinson goes deep into Chazy territory, and Santer comes off the line and just picks up the ball. No pressure at all, and he'll work his way to the 18 to punt the ball. And getting ready to check in here for the Eagles is Andrew Dupree as well as Matt Gravel. And Snide pushes it into the open space. Lapierre comes up. He chips it up over to Dominy. Dominy chests the ball, trying to control it, does a nice job. And it's cleared out by number 1, Orsi. And there's Halley. Halley jumps up, heads the ball up over to Lapierre. Lapierre pushes it over to Snide. Snide does a nice move, working his way to the 18, looking to get a shot off, a low shot, and just wide of the net as Bazacalopo dove for the ball, but he didn't even get to it, it just went wide of the net. And I just said the name again, Calvin, or Sam, so I won't forget it. Bazacalopo. And the goalie sets it up, and getting ready for the kick is Baird, Andrew Baird. He sends it up toward midfield. And controlling is the Bombers, and it's knocked away, and Matt Gravel, who just checked into the game, has the ball far side. Gravel working his way up the line, has space, but giving chase with Smith. He now goes into deep into Chazy territory, trying to find Boris, and it's cleared out by the defense. Number 12, Baird, clears it out. So it'll be a throw in here for Chazy. Gravel gets it up over to Snide. Gravel trying to work his way through, and it's now Snide taking the ball away from the Lake Placid defense. And Lake Placid wins the ball. It was Smith. Smith has it knocked away by McCarthy, controlled by Halley. Over to Dupree. Dupree pushes it back over to Barrier. Barrier pushes it back over to Halley. Goes by Halley's foot onto Reynolds. Reynolds with the ball, controlling. Now he'll chip it up, and it goes off the chest of Cordzile as he chests the ball up over to number 16, Commons. Has it knocked away by Barrier. Now clear to midfield, controlled by Knox. Nice trap by Knox using his chest, and giving chase is Williams. Williams has it taken away by Lapierre. Lapierre trying to find McCarthy, but it goes off the head of Commons toward midfield. Giving chase is Barrier. Barrier chips it far sideline. Giving chase is Gravel. Gravel has the afterburners on, trying to get it before it goes out of bounds. He gets there. He now sends it in toward the box. McCarthy giving chase, but the Blue Bomber defense is there. It's cleared out, controlled by Halley. Halley now comes back to the open space over to Lapierre. Lapierre tried to one-time it up over to Dupree. Too far out, cleared out by the defense. Number 22, Cordzile, Andrew Dupree, will take the throw in here for the Eagles. He gets it into Barrier. Barrier back to Dupree. Dupree gets it up over to Boris. Boris trying to control over to Dupree. Dupree has time, comes back to Halley. Halley will send it back over to Reynolds. So Chazy doing a nice job using everybody, using the whole field. They're just resetting now. It goes far side up over to Tregan. Tregan working his way far sideline. Tregan goes back over to Gravel, goes back to Tregan. Chazy doing a good possession job here. Back to Gravel. Gravel goes back to Tregan. Tregan now being challenged by the defense. He pushes it back to midfield. Nobody there except Reynolds. And now he'll chip it in, open space, and it is Dupree giving chase. Dupree being challenged. 15-15, it's Williams and Dupree. Dupree trying to win the play. He knocks it off of Williams out of bounds. There'll be a throw in here for Chazy. And Barrier will take the throw in. He finds Lapierre. Lapierre with the ball. Goes to the top of the key, and McCarthy gives chase, as well as number 8, Perkins. And out of nowhere comes Snide. He rips a shot wide of the net. And it'll be a goal kick here for Lake Placid. We're at now 19-12 here left in the first half. Chazy with a 2-0 lead. They have outshot the Blue Bombers 5-0 up to this point. And it's Baird hitting the ball up toward midfield. Looks like number 3, Knox got away with the handball. And he sends it up over to Commons. Commons with the ball up to Tennant. Tennant being challenged by Barrier. Barrier does a nice job. He'll push it back over to Reynolds. He switches fields, goes to midfield, but over there is Orsi. Orsi gets by Gravel, working his way far sideline into Chazy territory, and he gets by the defense. Giving chase is Halley. Halley and Perkins fighting for the ball, and it's cleared out by Tregan. But Orsi's there. He knocks it back into Chazy territory, deeper into Chazy territory, and now Gravel trying to find McCarthy. And it is now Snide chips it up. Giving chase is Boris. Boris already has 2 goals. Good defensive play by Cordzile to knock the ball away from Tyler Boris. And it goes on to the foot of Snide. Back to Lapierre. Lapierre over to Dupree. Back to Lapierre. And Lapierre done a nice job to slide tackle in front of Tennant, but it's controlled by the Blue Bombers. And it is Knox. Knox switches fields, goes far side over to Smith. Smith giving chase, being challenged by Tregan. Tregan does a nice job to stuff him, and it's Tregan with the ball. Takes it off of Knox's foot. It'll be a throw in here for Chazy. And Tregan will take the throw in. John Tregan over to Caleb Snide. He one-times it to midfield, but it's hit by the head by Orsi into Chazy territory. Approaching the 18-yard line, headed out by Halley. Now number 17, Tennant with the ball, has it taken away by Barrier. Barrier does a nice job to slow it up. Now he finds Gravel on the far sideline. He's pushed off the ball by Perkins. No call, and Perkins gets by Gravel. Perkins chipping it toward the center of the field. in Chazy territory, but it's cleared out by Halley back into Blue Bomber territory, and it is McCarthy giving chase. He gets by Baird. McCarthy with some nice speed, and nice job by number 12, Baird, coming out of nowhere. And he was tripped by McCarthy, who was trying to get to that ball. So nice defensive play by Andrew Baird of Lake Placid to put the pressure on McCarthy. If Baird wasn't there, McCarthy could have got in for probably a guaranteed goal. So good defensive play. He'll take the kick, sends it into Chazy territory. Tregan pushing from behind. He pushed Smith to get the head on the ball. And so it will be a direct kick here for the Blue Bombers, about 10 yards into Chazy territory, about the center of the field, and it is Knox ready to take the kick here for the Blue Bombers. He goes far sideline. It goes on the foot of Gravel. Gravel pushes it up over to Boris. No, Gravel takes it from Boris, and he's working his way through, and he's trying to get it away from Knox. And Knox doing a good job shielding Boris. Comes all the way over to near side. Andrew Dupree intercepts the ball, pushes it up over to Barrier. Barrier will switch fields trying to find Gravel, but Orsi's there to knock it up over to number 8, Perkins. Chazy controlling again, and now it's McCarthy trying to get through the ball. It's McCarthy with some nice speed, and again, Baird and McCarthy fighting for that ball. And there's a push on Baird on McCarthy just outside the box near the goal line. So Chazy will have a set play here, and it will be Barrier taking the kick. And there's no wall being set up yet. Now number 3, Knox, runs over. He's calling for a wall. Knox taking control defensively, trying to set up his defense. Barrier chips it up, and it goes over the head of Reynolds and just by Lapierre on the far sideline. So opportunity gone by the wayside here for the Eagles, but it's knocked out by the Blue Bombers, so it'll be a throw-in for Chazy. Lapierre will take the throw-in. He finds Barrier. It comes back over to Lapierre. Lapierre chips it into the box. Dupree trying to get a shot off. And it was knocked out of bounds by number 22, Corzeal. And it'll be a throw-in. Halley coming in for Chazy on the defensive end with the throw-in. Looking to have a big throw-in into the box. Halley does a nice throw-in into the box. McCarthy heads it up. McCarthy trying to get back to it, but it's headed out by the defense, and then it's number 3, Knox, for Lake Placid. He chips it up, and coming up over to the ball is Tregan. Tregan chips it up over to Snide, but it goes onto the foot of Gravel. He has it knocked away. And it's number 18, number 10, Cassidy. And that will go out of bounds. It'll be a throw in here for the Eagles. We have 13:28 here left in the first half. And it is Boris. Back over to Barrier. He's got Snide wide open center of field. Snide has the ball. Working his way up. Trying to find McCarthy. Goes off to McCarthy's foot. McCarthy controls. Goes back over to Tregan. John Tregan will now chip it in. Here comes McCarthy. And McCarthy heads it off the end line, and it'll be another goal kick here for the Blue Bombers. So a lot of changes coming in. Rogers coming in for Chazy. Conway, Porter, and Meyer coming in for Lake Placid. Coming off is Smith and Williams and Corzeal. And Gronlund getting ready to check back into the game. And the ball is in Chazy territory. Halley calmly sends it up over to Boris. Boris tried to one-time it up over to Dupree. And it is Snide being knocked off the ball by Porter, but it is Dupree being pushed by number 5, Conway. So Chazy with a direct kick here. And it will be Barrier. And he has Lapierre, Coach McCullough has Lapierre and Halley going in with their height. And the ball's chipped in, and it's headed out by number 5 Conway. And ball's chipped in, and nice play by Bazacalapo to come and get the ball away from Tyler Boris. And Boris, looking for a hat trick, already has 2 goals tonight. Ball at midfield, and Barrier just heads it back into the air. Barrier and Knox go for the ball. Won by Barrier. Sends it all the way back to Reynolds. Reynolds with the ball, has time. Trying to find McCarthy, but hustling up was number 10 Cassidy. He gets it onto the foot of Meyer. Meyer goes far side up over to Perkins, but it's now won by Rogers, but it was cleared out by Tregan. So it'll be a throw in for the Blue Bombers, far sideline. And Knox with the ball. Offsides for the Blue Bombers. Halley sends a nice kick to midfield, off the head of Knox into Chazy territory. Controlled by Rogers, over to Tregan. Tregan one times it into back in the Lake Placid territory, controlled by McCarthy. He goes far sideline onto the foot of Rogers. And Rogers has it knocked out of bounds by Orsi, number 1 Orsi. So it'll be Rogers. Nolan Rogers will take the throw in. He sends it up over to Snide. Snide shields, sends it back over to Halley. Halley looking to get a shot off. It's a weak shot. Hits the defense at the 18, cleared to midfield. Tregan giving chase. He one times it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds being challenged, sends it back off over to Santor. Santor will then kick it to the far side up over to Tregan. Tregan one times it up over to Snide. So nice ball movement here from Chazy to McCarthy. McCarthy sends it into the open space. Giving chase is Rogers. Rogers trying to get there in time to save it. But a nice shield by the Blue Bombers, so it'll be a throw-in. And we have substitutions coming in. Kane as well as Butler coming into the game here for the Blue Bombers. We have now under 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 34 seconds. Chazy with a 2-0 lead. It is the 16th of September 2009. I'm Joey Trombley along with Sam Castine for tonight's game, and we have coming out of the game is Orsi as well as Cassidy. And McCarthy giving chase. He's challenging Knox.
Okay, jump off.
And there'll be a push on McCarthy. And the Blue Bombers will set up for their kick. And they try to find Knox, but intercepted by Boris. And Boris still with the ball, and now it's number 5 Conway. Conway being challenged by Boris. Giving chase is Dupree. Dupree knocks the ball away by Porter, and it's Dupree doing some good stuff there in the corner, and it goes off of him, so it'll be a throw in here for the Blue Bombers. Conway will take the throw in. Conway with the throw in. Off the head of Lapierre, out of bounds. It'll be a throw in here for the Blue Bombers.
Come on. 9, come on, 8 minutes left, come on.
It'll be Knox. Knox gets it up to Grunland. Back over to Knox, out of bounds. And Lapierre will take the throw in here for Chazy. And it's midfield, and it is Dupree off the chest of Snide, controlled by Barrier. Barrier, Reynolds with the ball. Switches fields all the way over to Tregan. Tregan's got some time. Chips it up over to midfield, trying to find Barrier. And now controlled by Grunland. Grunland and Knox trying to get the ball, but nice job by Barrier to get in between them and takes the ball away and gives it up over to Snide. Snide's right at midfield, pushes it back over to Halley. Halley goes near sideline here into their own territory. To Lapierre, he works away to midfield, now into Blue Bomber territory. One times it up over to Boris. Boris gives it up to Dupree. Dupree chips it back up over to Snide. Snide tries to get it to McCarthy, and it's cleared out by the defense, and will go out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in here for the Eagles, and it is McCarthy for the throw-in. He actually gives it back up to Tregan. Tregan will take the throw-in over to McCarthy. McCarthy trying to shield. Does a nice job to get down the baseline, but coming over is number 8, Perkins, to knock it out of bounds. So it'll be a throw-in for Chazy. And it is Tregan with the throw-in. He comes back to Halley. Halley has time, pushes it back to Reynolds, who's at midfield. Lapierre opens up here to the near side. He gets the ball now from Reynolds over to Barrier. Barrier being pushed from behind by Knox. Over to Reynolds. Reynolds does a nice job knocking away from Kane. He's got space. He will now chip it up, giving chase, and it is Bazacalapio comes off the net, off the line to get the ball, so he'll slow things up. He'll work his way to the 18. We have 6 minutes and 10 seconds here left in the first half. Chazy with a 2-0 lead. And the ball is kicked by number 12, Baird. Giving chase is Dupree. He'll let it go out of bounds.
Come on, Tyler. Play forward.
And Boris goes down, no call. And it's into the open space, and it's controlled by Reynolds. Reynolds goes far sideline over to Tregan. Tregan works his way to midfield, pushes it up over to Snide. Snide has some room, being challenged by Knox. He's taken down, no call, over to McCarthy. McCarthy tries to find Boris, and it's controlled by 12, Baird. Baird chips it into Chazy territory. And Halley trying to give it up for Reynolds, and Reynolds wins that ball. And Reynolds, still controlling, pushes it up to Lapierre at midfield. Lapierre now trying to find Boris. He's knocked off the ball, and it's controlled by number 7, Grodlin. Grodlin at midfield gets it up over to Kane. Coming over is Halley to help. Kane tries to send it up. Goes off Halley's chest onto the foot of Reynolds. Reynolds near sideline, chips it up to midfield, and it goes out of bounds about 10 yards into Blue Bomber territory. It's a throw in here for the Blue Bombers, and we have some wholesale changes coming in here for 10, 12, and 17. So we have Smith, Cassidy, Tennant, and Cordziel coming into the game. And there's a throw-in off the head of number 10, Cassidy, controlled by Snide, trying to find Rogers far sideline, but he's being challenged by Tennant. Tennant and Rogers fighting for the ball. Good hustle, but coming over to help is number 19, Butler. Butler gets it into Chazy territory, trying to get it on the foot of Smith, but it's knocked out of bounds off Smith's foot, so it'll be Tregan, John Tregan with the throw, and he comes back defensively to Halley. No pressure. Halley will now chip it near sideline, switches fields, comes to the near sideline onto the foot of Dupree. Dupree will now try to find Boris, too far ahead of him, and the ball's cleared out by the defense. Lapierre giving chase as well as Kane, and Lapierre knocks it out of bounds, throw in for Kane. Kane quickly gets it in. He's trying to find Porter. Porter being challenged by Dupree, back over to Kane. Kane has it knocked away by Boris. Boris gives it up over to Snide. Snide with the ball, now far sideline over to Tregan. He'll one-time it back to Halley. Halley with the ball, not being pressured, comes near side up over to Lapierre. Lapierre at midfield working his way into Blue Bomber territory. Now being challenged, gets it up over to Boris. Boris gives it up over to Snide. Snide working his way to the 18, and defensively it was Butler coming over. Knocks it away, but Tregan comes in from the defensive end, knocks it up to Barrier, who gives it back up over to Halley. Halley tries to find Lapierre, and Lapierre has it cleared away. And he accidentally kicked number 19, Butler, and Butler is down. And he got a shot into the stomach, I think. And so they'll stop the time here as Lake Placid has a player down with 3:01 to go here in the first half. We have a drop ball. And it's won by the Blue Bombers. And he gets throw in. It was Smith with the ball, has it knocked away. And it is a handball on Knox. So we're approaching 2:44. Chazy with a 2-0 lead. They got those goals within the first 4 minutes of the first half, and Lake Placid has done a good job keeping them off the board since then. Chazy with 5 shots. Santor has been very lonely back there, Sam. No shots on net, just a couple playbacks. So it's a good thing for Santor it's not a cold night.
Like the Maytag man, eh?
Yeah, he's just bored down there. But if you're a Chazy fan, you don't mind that.
No.
You don't want any pressure on your goalie. Well, here we go. There's
It's good to get a little pressure on him every once in a while. So when you get into a good game that...
yeah, he's ready for it. And we got 2 minutes, and Chazy clears it back. Barrier does actually back into Chazy territory. Reynolds, the sweeper, with the ball. He sends it up over to Snide. Snide lets it go through his feet over to McCarthy. McCarthy goes far sideline. Giving chase is Rogers. Rogers getting a shot off, trying to send it across. Takes it across the end line. And it is 1:35 here left to go. So Bazacalapio. Calapo.
I don't remember.
Bazacalapo. I think that's what it was. Bazacalapo. Short kick, and it is Snide with the ball. Getting to McCarthy. McCarthy trying to get a shot off, but he goes over to Rogers. He'll let Rogers get a shot off. Rogers sends it across, and the goalie Bazacalapio, comes up with the save. And we have 51 seconds here left to go in the first half. And the ball in Chazy territory, but Tregan sends it back into Blue Bomber territory onto the foot of McCarthy. McCarthy with the ball has Rogers to the right of him. Rogers runs ahead of him. McCarthy slows things up, now chips it into the box off the head of Boris. And there's Snide. Snide is taken down. And there, another penalty shot here coming up for Chazy. And Snide was going through, and he was taken out by number 12, Baird. It is the right call, but I didn't know if they were going to make that call. But it was the right call. And we have 27 seconds here left to go in the half. Chazy, and not too often you see penalty kicks in the regular season. And we have 2 in the first half.
Yeah.
So coach is letting whoever gets the penalty kick or gets taken down take the kick. And Snide, goalie went right, Snide goes, goalie went to his right, Snide went to his right, and that's a goal here for Chazy, so they get their third goal with 27 seconds left in the first half. The Lake Placid goalie wasn't real pleased with that. He kind of looked up to us to see if it was a legit call. We thought it was a legit call up here. We'll let you, the fans who've seen it on the camera, you can decide if it was a legit call, but I thought it was. He was there and he was taken down.
That's where you're from.
That's true. That is true. So Chazy with a 3-0 lead here, 7 shots on net. And the first half will work its way down here. Tregan heads it out up over to Snide. Snide trying to get it up to Rogers. Well, actually, Rogers is separating from Snide. He actually sends it to midfield over to Barrier, who heads it up over to Boris. 10 seconds to go here. And it is Dupree. Dupree up over to McCarthy. And the first half has officially come to an end. Chazy leading Lake Placid 3-0. All right, we're starting, and there's a shot on Bazacalapio, and 39-40 here. We just start in the second half. Chazy with a 3-0 lead. They had about a 10-minute intermission. And the ball is cleared deep into Chazy territory. So it'll be a throw in here for the Blue Bombers. And it's Gronlin will give it up over to Knox. Knox will take. He's taking his time with that throwing. But now he finds an open space and giving chase is Tennant. Tennant being challenged by Barrier.
Good stuff, Jordan.
And he shields Tennant away from the ball. And we have a goal kick here. It is Shea Halley. Halley chips it up toward midfield onto the foot of McCarthy. McCarthy with the ball. Goes near side trying to find Rogers. It goes over his head.
A little wider, Nolan. Tyler, tonight an easy one, Tyler.
And throwing here for Lake Placid. Number 8, Perkins taking the throw in. It's in the Chazy territory. Tregan gets there first, sends it back over to Reynolds. Giving chase is Cassidy. He switches fields all the way over to Lapeer. Lapeer with the ball, far sideline, being challenged by Grunland. And Lake Placid coming out putting more pressure on here early on in the second half, and I think they had a nice talking to from their coach. And Boris goes down. He's grabbing his ankle. And he'll get himself up. He gets up. He was taken down just outside the box. So Barrier calling Halley over, calling Reynolds over. So they're going to be setting up a set play here. I'm sure they're going to ask for the 10 yards that they are supposed to be getting.
Sir, we're asking for 10. He's not good. So that's 10 yards? We're asking for it.
Set play. Halley. And Reynolds gets a shot off, but it goes wide right. And it'll be a goal kick here for the Lake Placid Blue Bombers. And Lake Placid will set up. And Baza Calapio.
Oh boy. Just simply asking for 10. That's all we ask.
And it's cleared up. McCarthy with the ball, working his way to the box, and it's cleared out by the defense, far sideline, so throw in for Chazy. It is Dominy with the throw in. He goes up over to McCarthy. McCarthy now trying to work his way. He's just outside the box. Chips it up too far ahead of Snide, controlled by the Blue Bombers. And it's now cleared into Chazy territory. Giving chase is Reynolds. Reynolds back, one times it up over to Lapeer, far sideline. He chips it into Blue Bomber territory, and it's onto the foot of the defense of the Blue Bombers, now controlled by Knox. Knox sends it back defensively. Oh, bad pass by number 12, Baird, and it is Boris trying to work with the ball, but good recovery by Knox to knock it out of bounds. So it's a throw-in. Rogers quickly goes into Boris, and nice hard play by Conway, no call. Barrier over to Halley. Halley up to Lapeer. Lapeer trying to get a shot off, and nice play by Kane to take the ball away from Lapeer. On the counterattack, here come the Blue Bombers. Giving chase, nice speed by Lapeer to catch up to Kane. He knocks it away up over to Dominy, and Lake Placid definitely getting more physical here in the second half.
Which way are we going?
And the call against Chazy, so the Blue Bombers will get the ball here. And it will be Knox with the ball, taking the kick. Nice deep ball into the box, over the head of Halley, onto the head of Tregan. He heads it up over to Barrier. Barrier chips it up, trying to find McCarthy. McCarthy with the ball. On the counterattack is Chazy. Boris to his right. McCarthy working his way to the box. And tries to find Boris. Boris slips, chips it up over to, and there's a nice shot by Rogers. And coming off the line is Bazacalapio. He does a nice job. And he'll work his way to the 18. We have 34-24 to go here in the second half. Chazy out shooting Lake Placid 10-0. And push from behind was Grunland. So it'll be a kick here for the Eagles. And Halley sets it up and headed by McCarthy.
That's okay, good stuff.
And Bazacalapio comes off. He throws the ball out here near sideline, trying to get it to Perkins. Perkins over to Knox. Knox trying to control. Nice play by Knox, being challenged by Rogers. And Knox getting by everybody here, working his way to the 18. And he's taken down by Tregan. Tregan will get the kick, or will not get the kick. He'll give up the kick to Lake Placid.
Take this. Get in there, Kyle. Get in.
Knox getting ready to take aim here.
Get out that post.
Knox sends a shot in, and he goes over the top of the net, just missing. So when you see the net splatter back and forth like that, you think it's probably gone in.
Like it was in.
Yeah, but it hit the top of the net. So goal kick being set up. It will be Reynolds taking the goal kick. Sends it up toward midfield, just a little shy. It's now at midfield. And it's Grunland with the ball, has it knocked away by Snide over to Lapierre. Lapierre sends it up over to Halley. Halley working his way to midfield. Pushes it up to Boris. Boris lets it go by him, but giving chase is Perkins. And Perkins will knock it out of bounds as it was Boris and Rogers closing in on him, throwing for Chazy. Rogers gets it up over to Tregan. Tregan serves it into the box, trying to find McCarthy. McCarthy heads it up, and he hits it just over the net, over the hands on top of the net of Bazacalapio. And Sam, I bet if you play this tape back, I probably said that name 4 different ways, but we have the right idea. And we have 31:45 here left in the second half. Chazy out shooting the Bombers 11-1 now. Short kick. Boris chips it up over to McCarthy. McCarthy into the open space, and it's cleared out by the defense into Chazy territory. Controlled by Reynolds. Reynolds one times it up over to Tregan. Tregan near sideline, pushes it back over to Reynolds. Giving chase is Grunland. Reynolds switches fields up over to Lapierre. Lapierre one times it up over to Barrier. Barrier back to the near side, up over to Tregan. Tregan with the ball, pushes it back up over to Halley. Halley now at midfield, chipping it up over to McCarthy. McCarthy with the ball, trying to find Snide, and it goes onto the foot of the Bombers, and it's Knox with the ball. Now he goes to the open space. Giving chase is number 10, Cassidy. Tregan trying to contain here. Coming over to help is Rogers. He chips it up to the center of the field off the chest of Knox. Knox trying to make a move. He's taken down by Snide. And nice slide tackle by Cassidy. And it's cleared out by Reynolds to the top or the middle of the field. And Conway with the ball, has it knocked away. Rogers pushes it back over to Tregan, tries to one-time it up over to Snide. Snide trying to get the ball away from Knox. Knox open field, giving chase is Perkins. Perkins giving chase. And nice play by Rogers to keep it from going out the end of the end line, so it'll be a throw-in instead of a corner kick. And taking it will be Perkins for Lake Placid. Ball comes up, it's cleared out by Rogers, and now giving chase is McCarthy. McCarthy runs over the ball. Nice play by McCarthy. Now he's got some speed. He's got Rogers wide open here to the far side. Try to push it through over to Boris, and McCarthy gets a shot ripped, and he does. And Bazacalapio comes up with the save.
Good work, Kyle.
Good hustle by Kyle McCarthy. And the ball is punted by Bazacalapio into Chazy territory, headed by Halley onto the foot of Snide over to Barrier, up to Boris. Boris has it knocked away. It's now picked up by number 5, Conway. Conway sends it into Chazy territory, one time by Lapierre up over to Snide. It's off his foot onto the foot of Orsi. Or actually it was Grunland. And the ball is knocked out of bounds far sideline, so it'll be a throw in here for Chazy. Ball comes into the foot of Snide. Snide gets it up over to Halley, midfield. Tregan near sideline, wide open. He gets the ball. He'll now work his way, sends it back over to Halley. Halley may switch fields over to Lapierre. He's got Lapierre to his right. Halley trying to work his way through. He's taken down by number 17, Tennant. So Chazy with a set play here. With 28:38 to go, they lead the Bombers 3-0 here in the second half.
Give it a go.
It'll be another set play. And the referee will count it off. He sends the boys back. And now Hallie, ready to let one rip. The Hallie howitzer. And he let that thing go wide left. He'd like to have that one back. 27:56 to go here. We have Dylan Smith ready to check into the game. For the Blue Bombers, coming out is 7 Will Gronlund. And the kick works its way toward midfield. And it's won by the Bombers. And they're now into Chazy territory. It's Knox chipping it up and giving chase is number 4 Smith. Coming over is Hallie. Hallie doing a nice job with the ball. Trying to find Barrier. Barrier one times it back and it's Tregan. He'll just send it out of bounds to disrupt the play. So it will be a throw-in here for the Blue Bombers. Number 3, Knox with the throw-in. Knox working his way into 18. Push from the high end from Rogers. Just outside the box, so it'll be a set play here for the Blue Bombers.
Austin, get off that post!
And it'll be Knox with the kick.
Going over the top, Austin.
Knox, what a shot by Knox. He bent it into the upper left-hand corner. Beautiful, beautiful set play by Lake Placid. Evan Knox just drilled it in the upper left-hand corner, and now it's a 3-1 game with 26:10 to go here in the second half. Lake Placid just scoring. He'll take the kickoff. It pushes it back to Barrier. Barrier over to Tregan. Tregan back to Barrier. Barrier pushes it up over to Boris. Boris to McCarthy. McCarthy overruns it. Now picked up by Snide. Knocked away. And McCarthy with it. Now working his way toward the 18. Up to Boris. Boris has it knocked away. And it is Lapierre slide tackling up over to McCarthy. McCarthy getting a shot off. And what a save by Bazacalapio on a bullet by Kyle McCarthy. So good save by the Lake Placid goaltender. 25-28 to go here in the second half. Chazy with a 3-1 lead on the Blue Bombers of Lake Placid. Lake Placid just scoring on a beautiful set play, upper left-hand corner. It was a shot like Beckham. Evan Knox bent it into the upper left-hand corner to get Lake Placid on the board, and here is Lake Placid again, working the way in the offensive territory, and it goes on to the foot of Smith. Smith goes over to the near sideline, over to Perkins. Perkins chips it up toward the box, and it is Reynolds trying to clear it out. Barrier trying to control. Tregan working to the ball, and it's just kind of bouncing around here. No real control. And here's Knox again trying to get a shot off. Good job from Hallie to get in front of that one. And now it's controlled by Perkins. Perkins being challenged by Boris. Rogers chips it away. Here comes Boris, picked up by Knox. And now McCarthy. McCarthy with the speed. Controlled by number 12, Baird. Baird does a nice job getting by McCarthy. Up over to Knox. Knox switching fields. Lapierre giving chase, as well as Reynolds. Reynolds does a nice job to control. And it's Nathan Reynolds with the ball. He's being pushed off the ball by number 10. And it's Hallie. Hallie chips it up over to McCarthy. McCarthy trying to find Boris. And you can definitely see the intensity of Lake Placid much different than the first half.
Oh yeah, they're putting a lot more pressure on Chazy this half.
Yeah, they're letting Chazy have their own way in the first half, and
Yeah.
they put the pressure on here. So Chazy's got to tighten up defensively here, and Reynolds does a nice job to knock it away. He sends it up toward midfield. Given chase is McCarthy. McCarthy goes down. It's chipped up over to Boris. And it is Snide. Snide with the ball. Snide working his way to the 18. Gets off a shot, but it goes wide left. And we have 23-18 to go here, left in the second half.
1v1 now.
And it's a goal kick here for Placid. Ball goes off the head of Domini, out of bounds. So it'll be a throw in here for Lake Placid. Far sideline. And it goes onto the foot of Kane. Kane has it knocked away now on the foot of McCarthy. McCarthy gets a shot, goes over the net. And it'll be another goal kick here for the Blue Bombers, and Andrew Dupree coming into the game, and Hunter Domini coming out of the game. Kick toward midfield, headed by the Blue Bombers, headed by Lapierre. Dupree trying to knock the ball away. And giving chase is Smith. Smith and Halley fighting for the ball. And it's a push on number 4, Smith. So Halley will take the kick.
Forward, Nolan. Forward.
Halley sends a nice shot toward the box. Boris lets it go by him. Giving chase is Rogers too. And Dupree sends it up over to Snide. Snide being challenged by Smith. It's Snide. Now sends it across, goes over the head of everybody. Giving chase is Dupree as well as Kane. Kane gets there first. And nice hustle by Barrier. Over to Dupree. Dupree back over to Lapierre.
Jeff, come on, boys. Brendler, dig down.
Lapierre gives it up over to Halley. Halley's got Tregan here to the near side. Tregan gets the ball back. Tregan sends it back over to Halley. Halley does a nice job on it, go through his legs. Now over to Lapierre. Giving chase, good hustle is Meyer for Lake Placid. And it is Barrier. Barrier trying to find Dupree. And the ball's cleared out by the defense, and it will go work its way out of bounds just past midfield. Throw in for Chazy. Ball back in play, and it's Reynolds with the ball. Reynolds serves it up, and nice job of number 7 Grunland to disrupt the play. And now it's Snide. Snide has it knocked away, picked up by Barrier. Barrier chips it far sideline. Giving chase is Dupree. And it will be a throw-in for Lake Placid. It goes off of Dupree. And we have a substitution, and it's Kenneth Porter coming into the game.
Jordan, try to keep it on the floor.
We are now halfway through the second half, 20 minutes. Chazy out shooting Lake Placid 13-2. There's only been one corner kick in this evening, and it's been for the Eagles, and they lead on the scoreboard 3-1. Here come the Eagles. Boris lets a shot go, and it hits the post. Mazzacalapio dove, and he might have got a hand on it, but it hit the post, and actually he didn't. It hit the post and went off the end line. So Boris was a goal post away from getting his hat trick, Sam.
Did the ball hit the post, or was that the goalie we heard?
No, I think it was the ball.
He was slow in getting up.
The goal post was definitely the goalie's best friend there. Ball coming here near sideline toward our camera, and it goes off the head of Rogers. And a push from behind, so instead of a throw-in, it's a kick here for the Blue Bombers. It's number 12, Andrew Baird. He serves it up, goes off the chest. And now here comes Rogers, working his way to the 18. He sends it across. Chazy trying to get a shot off, cleared out by number 22, Cordziel. And nice play by Dupree, taking the ball away from behind. It's Dupree with the ball up over to Snide. Snide with the ball over to Barrier. Barrier back over to Halley. Halley chips it back into the box. Headed by McCarthy over to Boris's foot. Boris pushes it over to Rogers. Rogers gets a shot across. And offsides is McCarthy. And we are now at the 18-minute mark here. And a quick kick into Chazy territory. Grunland getting the ball over to Knox. Far sideline, Lapierre giving chase to Grunland. Over to Halley. Grunland gets a shot off, and it goes still in play. And good hustle. Good hustle by Perkins, but it'll be a goal kick here for Chazy.
Goal! Come on!
Reynolds with the kick up toward midfield. It goes off the chest of Smith. Smith knocks it up. It's Halley. Halley chips it up, trying to find McCarthy. McCarthy heads the ball toward the goalie. Giving chase is Boris, but back defensively is Cordziel. Cordziel has it knocked away from Boris, and Cordziel comes with a slide tackle, takes Boris down, so it'll be a direct kick here for the Eagles. Boris getting up slowly.
And just stay on this one, okay?
And Knox looking to take the kick here. Or not Knox, but I mean Barrier. Barrier chipping it into the box, and ball headed out. Snide with the ball, pushes it back over to Halley. Halley gets a shot off, and that was a bullet, and I'll tell you, Bazacalapio did a nice job knocking that over the top of the net. So we have a corner kick here for the Eagles. And Barrier will go take the kick.
Go, Jordy!
Short kick, Lake Placid's not expecting this. It comes across, and Chazy just missed a golden opportunity. Goes by everybody. McCarthy giving chase, out of bounds, throw in here for the Blue Bombers. Checking into the game is Tennant, and it's Will Tennant coming into the game. And coming out of the game is Will Kane. Lapierre trying to find Boris. Boris with the ball pushes it back over to Halley. Halley now serves it up toward the 18. Giving chase is Rogers, and it's cleared out of bounds by the Wolves or the defense of Lake Placid. It was Conway, Jamie Conway, knocking it out of bounds. Throwing a Barrier. Barrier takes it off the defense, and it is Snide. Has it knocked away, and it will be a corner kick here for Chazy. It'll be their third corner kick of the evening. Barrier will set up. Running over is Boris. Somebody took a picture, so thank God they didn't call the game because of lightning. And controlled by Lapierre. Lapierre all the way back over to Reynolds. Oh, and that would be a handball.
Okay, it's alright. It's okay, no big deal.
And it'll be a handball on Lake Placid.
John, get Dupree. Andrew, get in. Send Dupree back here.
Serving it up. There's the header. But Bezakalapio was there. He punts the ball, and the coach wants them to pick up the intensity here. There's 13.5 minutes to go. They're down by 2. And he's knocked down by Tregan.
Gotta win the ball from here, right? Come on. Let's go.
And it will be Knox taking the kick here for Lake Placid.
No, more inside, right? We're good. They don't need to close it down.
Knox sending the ball in. Coming off the line is Santor.
Good stuff, Austin. Come on, Smitty, back!
Santor with a nice booming kick into Lake Placid territory headed by Boris. Giving chase is McCarthy, but there is Cordzil. He sends it back into Chazy territory. Lapierre giving chase. He knocks it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds will control the situation. He's got Tregan near sideline all open. He finds Tregan here. Switching fields. Tregan now gives it up at the barrier. Barrier near sideline. Chips it up over toward Rogers. Rogers giving chase here. And it goes out of bounds off of Rogers. And Orsi checking into the game on the Lake Placid throw-in. And coming out of the game is number 9, Porter. And Cody Toohill getting ready to check in here for Chazy. Ball goes off Smith. Snide trying to control the ball.
Why you're holding him on the shoulder? Move it up, move it up.
Hold on Snide.
No quick start. Get up there, Knox. Get in. Here, take.
Here, you can go in too. Here, go to neutral right there. Yep.
And Knox sending it up toward the 18. A nice play by Lapierre. And Lapierre taken down. So a kick here for the Eagles, far sideline. Lapierre was taken down. And Lapierre will take the kick himself. Into Lake Placid territory. Headed at midfield. And here come the Bombers. Knocked away, and Halley just knocks it up. Now he'll send it up into the Placid territory as far as sideline. Dupree does a nice job getting up over to McCarthy. And McCarthy gets a shot wide right. So we're approaching 10 minutes and 20 seconds here. Chazy with a 3-1 lead have outshot Lake Placid 16-3. And it's a goal kick here for the Blue Bombers. Rogers is out of the game. Toohill into the game. And the ball toward midfield. And number 10, Cassidy, just jumped right over Snide.
Jay, leave it. Jay, leave it.
And it'll be Reynolds taking the kick. Nice feed. Ball goes off the head of Toohill. Toohill getting a shot off, and it goes wide right. But good work by Cody Toohill just checking into the game here.
No deflection.
9.5 minutes to go. 3-1 Chazy leading. It is the 16th of September 2010. We're at the George Brendler Field here in Chazy. I'm Joey Trombley calling tonight's action. Sam Castine on the camera for Hometown Cable. And the ball cleared up to midfield, controlled by Lapierre. He tries to go near sideline, trying to find Toohill, and it goes off the head of Perkins, so it'll be a Chazy throw-in. Another flashlight, and of course the big joke is well, I probably should give Larry a little break on that, but it is Oh, what a shot by Snide on a feed from Tyler Boris. And Bacalapio had no chance on that one as Caleb Snide just drilled it upper right-hand corner at the 31-minute, 22-second mark. And Chazy goes up 4-1. Lake Placid will take the kickoff after giving up the goal, and Knox will turn toward Chazy's end, controlled by Barrier over to Anderson. Knox challenging Anderson, and it's Duffin and Anderson trying to fight for the ball. And it's Snide with the ball. Snide still with the ball, has Barrier to the left. And it's knocked away, picked up by Perkins. And we have more changes coming in here. We have Rabideau coming in. We have Hack coming in. We have Botten coming in, and we have Gravel coming in.
You break. Sweep. All the way back. Go. All the way. Loreno.
Finally.
And number 21 for Chazy, Dylan Hack with the throw-in. Garrow pushing it up over to Gravel and knocked away. Now here come the Blue Bombers. It is Knox. Knox with the ball, trying to send it through. And Dupree sends it back toward midfield. It will go out of bounds at midfield. We have 7:07 to go. Chazy with a 4-1 lead. They lead in the shot category 18-3, in the corner kick category 3-0. And checking in here for the Blue Bombers is number 18 Barry. Coming out of the game is Perkins. And Anderson fighting for the ball, has it knocked away, controlled by the Blue Bombers. Into Chazy territory, and Dylan Duffin trying to control. And good hustle by the Eagles. And Garrow gets a shot off wide right, and Frankie Garrow trying to get a shot off. He does, and it goes wide right. And we now have 6.5 minutes to go. And it will be Lake Placid with a goal kick. Well, Sam, I guess Joe wasn't going to make it here tonight.
It don't look that way.
I heard, well, the Cougars beat the Eagles 2-1. So it was, I guess, a good game down at Northeastern, or up at Northeastern. And I think Joe called it a night after that. It's hard doing triple duty. He had to work today, had a game, then come and announce a game. Joe's not the young man he used to be. If he hears this on camera, he's going to get back at me, I guarantee it. We have 5:40 to go. Chazy with a very comfortable 4-1 lead here. And they'll run their league record up to 3-0 in MVAC action. Knox gets the ball over the head of Williams. Duffin sends it up over to Gravel. And the ball goes out of bounds, throw-in for Chazy. Duffin with the throw-in. Sends it right down the line. Duffin pushed up to Anderson. Anderson giving chase, won by Knox. And number 4, Cody Toohill. And here come the Blue Bombers. Rabideau knocks it off, but now goes in the foot of Gravel. And Anderson giving chase as well as Toohill. Nice play by Knox. And it goes too far out of his range, and it's a throw-in for Chazy. Gravel and Knox doing. One thing I'm impressed with number 3, Knox. That kid's not giving up for Lake Placid.
No, he doesn't.
He's all over the place.
Yep.
And nice play by Knox. He goes to the open space. Given chase was number 15. Williams couldn't get to it. Throw in for Chazy. 4 minutes now left into this game. Ball headed out of bounds by number 18. Barry.
Johnny, right there, buddy.
Two Hill up over to Duffinaw. And again, it's a throw in for Chazy. Two Hill trying to find Ian Anderson. And out of bounds, so it'll be a throw in for Lake Placid. Knox will take the throw in. Knox into the open space. Duffinaw chips it up over to Rabideau. Rabideau one times it over to Gravel, but it's picked up by number 11, Meyer. Meyer sends it back over to 17, Tennant, and here comes Meyer. And giving chase far sideline is number 8 for Chazy, which would be Mark Osher. Throw in Lake Placid. Hack trying to get to the ball. And number 25, Botten, trying to clear it. And here comes Knox. And the ball knocked away. Good job by Dupree. And it will be a corner kick here for the Blue Bombers. Orsi coming into the game.
Is this their first corner kick?
No, I think it might be their second. Let me check. It is their first corner kick.
That's what I thought.
It is their first corner kick. And who else? Evan Knox will take the kick. Kids all over the place.
Yeah, waste too much time, though.
When you're down 4-1, yeah, it is a waste. And deflects off of Cody Two Hill, so there's their second corner kick. And we heard it. 2 minutes. We have under 2 minutes. I can think you take this bet to Vegas. Chazy's going to win this game.
I wouldn't bet against it.
You'd be a foolish bettor if you did.
Now, he took 25 seconds in that there. I was watching.
For the corner kick.
Yeah.
That's knocked out by Santer, and Gravel knocks it out. Anderson does a nice job. The Eagles trying to do a counterattack, and the ball's chipped in toward the goalie. Santer gets it. And we have 1:20 here left to go. Santer will take his time. 19 shots to 3 favor the Eagles. Nice punt, headed by Anderson. Ball headed back into Chazy territory. Duffinaw with the ball. One times it up over to Dupree. Dupree sends it up over to Two Hill, and it's knocked out of bounds. And it'll be a throw-in here for the Eagles, and it'll be Dylan Duffinaw with the throw-in. Over to Botten. Botten pushes it up over to Two Hill. Nice job. Two Hill with some speed. Over to Rabideau. Rabideau tries to get to Anderson. Anderson wins that battle. Anderson pushing up over to Frankie Garrow. And it's knocked away. It'll be a throw-in for Chazy. 34 seconds to go. Two Hill goes to Rabideau. Andrew Rabideau trying to find Anderson. Garrow fights for the ball, but works his way back to midfield. On the foot of Botten. And Botten gets it up over to Dylan Hack. We have 10 seconds to go here. This game will come to an end, and it will officially be in the book as of right now. So on the 16th of September, Chazy extends their winning streak to 3-0 in league play. Overall, they're 4-0-1, counting the preseason tournament. And Chazy wins this game 4-1 against the Blue Bombers of Lake Placid, who haven't been here in a while. And I'm Joey Trombley, who called tonight's action. Sam Castine, Hometown Cable on the camera. And as Sam and Calvin like to say, that's the way it is, or that's the way it was in beautiful